Hi there, this is Datila, and welcome to the Just League Time Pro Show. It is Monday, August 21st, 2023, and tonight I will be talking about Monday Night Raw. Alright, so let's talk about tonight's Raw. It kicked off with Sami Zayn, and you guys know they were in Quebec, so that could only mean one thing. Kevin Owens returned tonight, and he teamed up with Sami Zayn in the main event, but I did not like the opening segment. And it had nothing to do with Kevin Owens. It's the fact that it's the same old thing every single time. Judgment Day interrupted, and Judgment Day is going to be in the main event. And guess what? It was going to be Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus two members of Judgment Day. Like, we haven't seen that before. So I was not a huge fan of the opening segment. Don't get me wrong. Happy Kevin Owens came back, but it's just not a fan of that. So, what did you guys think of the opening segment? And it's the same old, same old. Somebody comes out, cuts a promo, Judgment Day comes out. And it's always the same main event. Again, like, what happened? Maybe get a 4-person tag, maybe that Rhea main event. It's like, people complain about the bloodline being overexposed. Maybe the same thing's happening to the Judgment Day. All right, so we get a top contender match. It's the New Day versus the GlasBros in the form of Matt Riddle and Drew McIntyre. And honestly, I didn't think this was a bad match. The New Day was victorious because the Viking Raiders got involved in this. And at the end, the Viking Raiders took everybody out. So it kind of seems rinse and repeat Raw. Yeah, rinse and repeat. Kind of seems like they're setting like a maybe a 3-way tag match here. The New Day versus the Viking Raiders versus Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle. But we'll wait and see how far Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle go as a tag team. I mean, I personally thought it was going to lead to a heel turn for Drew McIntyre, but that has yet to happen. So we got to wait and see what that goes. We get an interview backstage with JD McDonough. He says he knows Finn Balor his entire life. And, Finn Balor standing right next to him. And Rhea, Ripley, and Dominic interrupt and say they need to talk to Finn Balor about who will be facing Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And of course, they don't want JD to come, and Finn Balor, gives him the signal to not go. So it's pretty obvious that Finn Balor trusts JD, but the rest of Judgment Day kind of seems iffy about it. They feel like they don't want him around. So just adds to the tension, adds to the story that they're telling here with the Judgment Day. We get a quick Shayna Baszler video, and I actually really like it because I feel like it's gonna reestablish her. It's supposed to, I guess remind you of when she was the Queen of Spades down in NXT. And hopefully this video, and along with her beating Ronda Rousey, hopefully leads to something. I know she kind of hinted at Becky Lynch. She should go after Becky, but that has yet to happen. Maybe they're waiting for Becky to finish her feud with Trish, but still very excited to see where they go with Shayna Baszler. We get Gunther speaking about the Intercontinental title, and we also get Chad Gable talking about how he's been waiting for this opportunity for 10 years. Otis says that Chad is going to win singles gold tonight, and Maxine says she wouldn't have become a singles competitor without Chad Gable. And this actually leads into the match. The Intercontinental title match is Chad Gable versus Gunther. This was one hell of a match. Probably my favorite match. Actually, not even. This was match of the night, if you ask me. My favorite match of the night. I mean, Chad Gable gave it all to Gunther. That dragon screw to ankle lock, I kind of thought, oh my God, he might have him there. And the thing, I do not mind the finish at all. I know some people might have not liked the finish, but I didn't mind it. So the way it happens is Gable sent Gunther over the barricade. He suplexed him over the barricade, and Chad Gable won by countout. Yeah, he didn't win the IC title, but the fact that he beat Gunther says a lot. I honestly think Chad Gable is the guy to take that title off of Gunther. And on commentary did note that Gunther just needs 18 more days to beat the all-time record. So 18 more days puts him at September 8th is when he will officially break Honky Tonk Man's record. So I feel like if Gunther and Chad Gable have a match at Payback, Gunther's gonna win there. And depending on when they want Gunther to drop the IC title, could it be the Raw after he breaks the record, or maybe at Fastlane? I honestly think Chad Gable is going to be the one to take that title off of Gunther just based on this performance. I mean, this is one hell of a match. And they, for once, they actually made me believe that Chad Gable could be the one to dethrone Gunther. So, of course, Gunther was not happy with this result, and he yelled at Kaiser and Vinci. And Kaiser told Vinci to make things right. This happened backstage. So next week we are going to get Gable versus Kaiser. Honestly, think Chad Gable's going to win that. We get the first of 2 Judgment Day backstage segments. And basically, Finn Balor thinks he and Dominic should team up tonight, but Damian Priest thinks him and Finn Balor will make the better team. And you could tell Dominic gets caught in the middle. So Rhea Ripley basically says that they need to make a decision or she'll make it for them. So it seems, once again, Finn Balor does not trust. Let me see. I think him losing the IC title right after the record is broken would be too predictable. So I feel like Gunther should hold on to it just a bit longer. That is true now that you mention it. So I feel like if he doesn't lose it the Raw after breaking the record, he will probably lose it at Fastlane. But then I question is how do you get from Payback to Fastlane with Chad Gable? Maybe you write him off TV for a few weeks. Because I think Fastlane is in October. I believe it's October 7th. So yeah, maybe you have Gunther injured, kayfabe injured Gable, and you write him off TV for a few weeks, and then he comes back and take the title off at Fastlane. That's how I would do it. We get Cody Rhodes. He's doing an interview and basically takes it out to the ramp. He welcomes Wade Barrett and Michael Cole to Raw, and he shouts out JBL. And he says he asks the crowd whose corner they're going to be in, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and he says he's going to be watching closely, and that people will watch the rise and fall of Judgment Day. So that interview didn't do much for me. It kind of hints at what's to come, and I'll talk about the main event when I get to it. We get the Shinsuke Nakamura video, and he finally reveals what he told Seth Rollins, and he basically says that he knows about Seth Rollins' back. So I actually really, really like this promo. I love the way that Nakamura was presented. And the best part is he cut this promo in Japanese and with English subtitles, and I feel like that just made it much more badass. They could even do it exactly like Honky Tonk Man's reign ended, with Gunther issuing an open challenge and Chad Gable taking the challenge and winning it there. Oh, cool. So, he talks about Seth Rollins' family, which is not something you're supposed to do. Seth Rollins is not happy about that. But absolutely really love this promo. I don't think Nakamura is winning at Payback, but I honestly really like what they're doing, what they did with here. We get Rhea Ripley versus Candice LeRae. I mean, was there really much to talk about during this match? This was a squash match. I mean, it didn't even last too long. Of course, Rhea Ripley won by submission. I feel bad for Candice LeRae because she and Indy Hartwell haven't been seen. They've been MIA for a while now. First chance they come back, they both lose to Rhea Ripley. So, at the end, Raquel comes out. And, she's kayfabing with the crutch, and she attacks Rhea with that crutch. And we find out that at Payback, it's going to be her versus Rhea Ripley for that women's title. And honestly, I feel like if there's one person that could probably take the title off of Rhea Ripley, it's Raquel Rodriguez, just because they haven't really built anybody else up to take that title. So Raquel Rodriguez seems to be the logical choice. And you know what? As long as it's a good match, I honestly wouldn't mind Rhea Ripley losing, because realistically, if not Raquel Rodriguez, who can take the title off of her? They haven't built anybody up, really, that's believable enough to take that title except for Raquel. So there you have it. Tommaso Ciampa cutting a promo hinting at, DIY. He said you got to do it yourself. Could we see a reunion of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa? Once Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn move on for the Judgment Day, that could be a new possible tag team they face. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think we're going to see DIY on the main roster or no? So we get a Miz in ring. He comes out to the ring, starts cutting this promo saying that LA Knight lost an opportunity at the US title and that people are blaming him instead of Knight. Talks about how there's no excuses on the main roster. He makes reference to his WrestleMania main event with John Cena. Calls himself a trendsetter. Says that LA Knight is not on his level and that his opponent tonight is someone who's faster, stronger than LA Knight. And you know who ends up being? Ends up being Akira Tozawa, who, according to The Miz, the last time that he won the 24/7 title, which was, according to The Miz, a watered-down throwback to the Attitude Era, just like LA Knight. And the best part of this, well, at least I liked it, was the fact that Akira Tozawa kept saying, yeah. And he said, what? That was so hilarious. And then, of course, The Miz attacks Akira Tozawa. And this leads into the match. And guess who comes out? LA Knight. Yeah. And, he's just on commentary. And, meanwhile, this match is happening. You can hear The Miz, saying stuff to LA Knight. There's this one spot where they come face to face. Akira Tozawa sends Miz into steel steps. Miz is just so focused on LA Knight that he doesn't even pay attention to his match, and because of that, Akira Tozawa is victorious here. Yeah, the Akira Tozawa getting a big victory over The Miz, and then LA Knight enters the ring and he hits the BFT to The Miz. And you know what? I ain't even gonna complain that LA Knight was on Raw, because I like LA Knight. So anytime we see LA Knight, I'm really happy. And I'm not going to complain about this. Honestly, think that they're probably going to set up, let me see. Doesn't matter if it's on Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. It's all about LA Knight. Yeah, yep, definitely. Honestly, think they're going to set up The Miz versus LA Knight at Payback. And it's going to be very telling, because in my honest opinion, LA Knight needs to win that feud more than The Miz. And if he loses that feud, that's not going to go well, in my opinion. He needs to defeat The Miz. He lost to Bray Wyatt way back in January. If they're giving LA Knight this push that they keep talking about, he needs to beat The Miz. That's just me. You cannot have LA Knight lose to The Miz and then expect him to move on to bigger, better things. No, he needs to beat The Miz. Even if, for whatever reason, it's a trilogy feud, he still should get the first victory over The Miz. Hopefully it's not a trilogy feud. Hopefully it's a one and done. But he needs to beat The Miz. All right. We get the GlasBros segment. And McIntyre's basically telling Matt Riddle that they're not going to work as a tag team. The New Day says they got a good thing going and have potential. And one of the names they suggest for Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle is Mick Riddle. Oh my God. They suggest Mick Riddle. And the New Day basically alludes to the fact that they want a rematch after Drew McIntyre and Matt Riddle take care of the Viking Raiders. Mick Riddle? Really? I don't think they can do that. I'm pretty sure that's copywritten by McDonald's. So, but hey, it is a funny nickname. But what team name would you give Matt Riddle and Drew McIntyre? I like the GlasBros here. I like that. I think that suits them a lot better than Mick Riddle. It's kind of like from Superbad, where he called himself McLovin. That was hilarious. We get the we get the Judgment Day, another Judgment Day backstage segment. Basically, this is a continuation from the first one. Damian Priest says that Finn Balor doesn't trust him and that he went to go talk to like JD McDonough. And Rhea says that they're going to do things her way. And Dominic alludes to the fact that she's pissed. We get a Becky Lynch promo. And she's basically talking about her legacy won't be defined by wins or losses or championships, but by survival. And that she always finds a way to come back. So Trish comes out. And the crowd starts chanting, "Thank you, Trish." She says, "Merci beaucoup, Quebec," which means thank you. Mike, hey. So then, of course, yeah, I read that in L.A. Knight's voice. So, of course, Trish has to, like, diss Quebec. And she says they're not even Montreal or Toronto. But Trish basically goes on to say when she beats Becky, not only will she prove that she's the greatest of all time, but she'll prove that not only will she prove that she's the greatest of her generation, but of Becky's generation too. And despite the fact, Trish alludes to the fact that she's never fought in a steel cage before, but her entire career, she's been thrown into the fire and shined. So she makes reference to the fact that she was 24 years old when she stepped into the WWE for the first time, and when she also talks about when she main evented Monday Night Raw with Lolita. So, yeah, this feud is going to end in a steel cage match. But next week, it's going to be Becky Lynch versus Zoe Starks in a Falls Count Anywhere match. So I'm sure that's used to take care of Zoe Starks. So she probably won't interfere in the steel cage match. We get Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Kayden Chance and Katana Carter. This was a really short match. I mean, Piper Niven pretty much won it for her team, and she had to carry Chelsea Green on her back as they left the ring. I wasn't a huge fan of this match. Don't get me wrong, I like Chelsea Green, but I feel like, again, I guess in a way, like if you want to establish Piper Niven and Chelsea Green, especially Piper Niven as this dominant tag team, then I guess that's a way. Chelsea, I was so disappointed how short it was. Yeah, same here. Like, I like Chelsea Green. You know, I really wanted to see Chelsea's Got Talent. Chelsea's really good in that comedy, in that role, and I actually would not have mind seeing that. I just feel like they paired her and Piper Niven together randomly, you know. And honestly, like, first Carmella gets pregnant and then Sonya Deville gets hurt. I just feel bad for Carmella. It seems like she's having the worst of luck with these tag team partners. So, but what did you guys think of this match? Like, you know, in a situation like this, I wouldn't have mind them squishing jobbers here. You didn't have to do Kayden Chance and Katana Carter like that. They could have gave her a new partner weekly until they found someone and a good fit, but they could have rolled with it, right? Exactly. Like, Chelsea's Got Talent. I wouldn't have minded her switching partners every week until we found the right one. But, you know, it is what it is. At least Piper Niven is getting some shine here. But, of course, my favorite Chelsea Green tag team partner will always be the Vuchosa Deonna Purrazzo, a.k.a. Vex. So sad their Knockouts tag team title reign only lasted a short bit. We get a Seth Rollins backstage interview in which he basically confirms what Nakamura said earlier, that Nakamura mentioned his back and it caught him off guard. Yeah, agree with that. Vex, right? Thank you for agreeing with me. Long live Vex. Seth Rollins says it's not something he likes to talk about publicly. He's got 2 fractures in his lumbar spine and he's been living with it for 4 years. He doesn't know how much longer he will be able to do this at the level he's running at. He talks about how it's all part of the gig if Nakamura wants to take cheap shots, target his back, but the minute Nakamura bought his family, his wife, his daughter, his livelihood, then Nakamura needs to be prepared to face him like a man. And that he alludes to the fact that Nakamura is so lucky he's 1,000 miles away. And then next week, Nakamura better prepare himself because he's going to be in the center of that ring with that title when the whole world's singing his song. So after this, I honestly don't think Nakamura is going to beat Seth Rollins at Payback. I really don't. But I do think that there's a slight possibility maybe Damian Priest might cash in on Seth Rollins. That's just what I think. But I don't think Nakamura is winning. We get the first of 2 main events. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. What am I going to say about this? And I haven't already said before. Judgment Day wins this part by DQ, and then they do a beatdown, and Cody Rhodes comes out. And so you know where this is going, player. Holla, we get a 6-man tag team match. It's Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens versus the Judgment Day. Like, we haven't seen that before. This was a good match. Obviously, the reason why we got 2 matches out of this instead of 1 is because they wanted to give Judgment Day they probably wanted to give Judgment Day a win, and also too they wanted to give Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn a win since they are in Canada and they are in Quebec, which is Kevin Owens' hometown. Same main event every week. Ugh, exactly. Like, look, the main event was good, but it's the same main event. We've seen this main event or variation of this main event many times over the last couple weeks, and I'm so sick of seeing the same main event. I mentioned this. Owens looked legit injured at the end. Yeah, he kind of did, and hopefully it's nothing serious. Hopefully he didn't get injured, knock on wood, because he just came back from injury. Again, I mentioned this earlier. People talk about the Bloodline, how they overexpose and how they're all over SmackDown. Why not give somebody else a chance to main event Raw? I get they're trying to do this whole Judgment Day runs Monday Night Raw type thing. Okay. But every single week, Judgment Day main events. You know what? Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have got to move on from the Judgment Day. It's either leads to a tag team title match or we got to do something else. We got to split those tag team titles because it seems like this isn't even about those tag titles. And, SmackDown could use those tag titles too. They got to move on from this feud and actually have a feud for the titles. How long have they been feuding with the Judgment Day? Since what, July? It's now August 21st, and they're still feuding with the Judgment Day. It's kind of like the Bloodline and the whole Usos thing. I swear, like, we need a new feud. We need to separate the tag titles so more tag teams can have an opportunity. It's rinse and repeat. But that concludes the Monday Night Raw review. So if I had to pick something that I really liked about tonight's show, it's Chad Gable versus Gunther, hands down. That was honestly my favorite part of Monday Night Raw. Tonight's show was all right. It was okay. But if I had to give a Raw rating, I'd give it 6 out of 10. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't the best thing on planet Earth. All right. So, you guys know we still are in Power Month. We're celebrating 30 years of Power Rangers next week on Monday. I can't believe it. It seems like only yesterday Power Month started, and now we're already going to celebrate 30 years of Power Rangers next Monday. So, last week I didn't release any content for Power Month because, I had some editing software mishaps. But this week, I won't be releasing the video tomorrow, but I should do a live stream where I rank the anniversary specials from Forever Red to the most recent Once and Always, from my least favorite to my most favorite on Saturday morning. And then, with that being said, you guys, Thank you guys all so much for watching and for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys Wednesday after Dynamite. Bye!